So now we have some breaking news. Fox News alert now to Washington, D.C. The FBI reaching out to Congress in an apparent update on that letter from the 28th of October talking about the Clinton emails. Now, the head of the House Oversight Committee, Congressman Jason Chafe, is tweeting this a moment ago on screen. FBI director just informed us, based on our review, we have not changed our conclusions that we expressed in July with respect to Secretary Clinton. All right, some details to go through here. Let's bring in Ed Henry from Washington. Take it a step at a time. Specifically, he's referring to what, Ed? Start there.
Well, first of all, referring back to July was when Hillary Clinton was essentially in the clear when the FBI director said there were problems with her server and walked right up into the line of saying that the law may have been broken and that there was evidence suggesting that, but said that he didn't think any prosecutor would actually bring such charges, and basically suggested anyway back in July that he was walking away from all of that. That's why it was such a shock on October 28th when he wrote that other letter to leaders in Congress saying, well, hold on a second, we're kind of restarting things here because we've got this laptop from Anthony Weiner. He didn't mention the laptop, but he said that new evidence had been presented. That was a big deal. What was that, about 11 days before the election? This may be a bigger deal just 2 days before the election. I have the letter here from the FBI Director, James Comey. He said, I want to let you know, we sent that letter, quote, since my letter, the FBI investigative team has been working around the clock to process and review a large volume of emails from a device, again, the laptop, obtained in connection with an unrelated criminal investigation. During that process, we reviewed all the communications that were to or from Hillary Clinton while she was Secretary of State. Based on our review, James Comey says, we have not changed our conclusions that we expressed in July with respect to Secretary Clinton. I am very grateful to the professionals at the FBI doing an extraordinary amount of work here in a short amount of time. So look, again, a little bit cryptic because it says, we fall back on what we said in July. Doesn't directly say she's in the clear. But look, if the first letter on October 28th was correctly interpreted, cryptic then as well, that this thing may be back on in terms of classified information on that server, FBI restarting the engines. It's certainly fair to suggest now, 2 days before the election, this letter is a signal from FBI Director James Comey, an unmistakable signal, Bill,
okay,
that maybe those engines are slowing down.
Watching the Trump plane pull up to the airport hangar in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Technically speaking, the investigation was never closed. That's
Correct.
what Comey said over the summer before Congress.
Correct. And he said to Congress over the summer when he was under a lot of heat from Republicans for not pressing for, a grand jury to suggest that there should be criminal charges or anything like that, that, look, if I see anything else, we'll go back. The thing's not officially closed. That's what happened, we believe, in late October. But I think, again, to follow the facts and not to spin on either side, if we're going to follow this with what happened on October 28th, which was potentially very damaging to Hillary Clinton. Again, we don't want to get ahead of ourselves. We want to stick to the facts. But I underline the word potentially. This could potentially be a big sigh of relief for Hillary Clinton.
Yeah. Ed, it seems that if James Comey feels that he injected himself into the political dialogue here, this latest statement, which came out just moments ago, would serve in some ways to neutralize that. He's basically saying, I looked at what they had. As I promised, I would update the American people and Congress if there were new developments. So I came forward. I told them there was new development, and they've been working around the clock, as he says in this memo. And so far, I don't see any reason to think that we're going to change our conclusion from July. I mean, so how much of this is an effort in that regard?
Well, I tell you what, this could be seen, because it was seen on October 28th by some, as CYA for James Comey for walking up to the line in July, not doing anything then, and then, okay, we've got the door open again on October 28th. And remember, back then, it was very senior Republicans like Bob Goodlatte, the chair of the House Judiciary Committee. He's got real standing on these matters. He said then to Megyn Kelly and others, look, there's no way James Comey Bob Goodlatte said, after taking a pounding in July, is going to come back to us and say this thing is reopened, restarted, whatever word you want to use, and then have absolutely nothing. There had to be something serious, he learned on October 27th, 28th, to take such a big step so close to the election. Well, I've got to say, based on Republican Bob Goodlatte's reasoning back then, it certainly appears to me that James Comey is saying what Bob Goodlatte feared he would not say, which is, oh, well, what I was looking at wasn't that big of a deal, and so I'm not changing my mind from July. So I actually think this could be a bigger head-scratcher in terms of James Comey, his legacy, because he walked up to the line in July, didn't do anything. Then he saw the door ajar again October 28th, got hammered again by Democrats this time, Republicans back in July, Democrats a couple of weeks ago for saying, why are you interjecting into the election? You better have something this time. And now 2 days before the election, when Hillary Clinton appears to be, kind of struggling to the finish line here, for Comey to insert himself again, Martha, whoa, this is a big deal.